Welcome to how to create a paper cutout effect in Adobe Photoshop. Learn how to create this decorative paper illustration from scratch that you can use in your own projects and designs. Hi, I'm Jonathan Lamb, a digital artist with over 10 years of experience, and in this video we'll take you through step by step on how to create this cutout illustration using Photoshop settings. So before we begin, make sure to check out the Envato Elements website. You can get unlimited downloads of design assets, templates, and fonts. That's millions of creative assets all ready to use and with simple commercial licensing. Plus, no lock-in contract means you can cancel at any time. Subscribe now with the link in the description. So let's start by going over what assets we need to complete the tutorial. You'll find links to all the assets you need to follow along in the description. First, we need a couple of summer illustrations, followed by a tropical leaf collection. Once you have all of that, let's get started in Photoshop. So let's start by creating a new document with a width of 1920 and a height of 1080. Create a new layer here, and let's name it Window 01. Now, to create our illustration composition, we need to first determine the shape of our top window layer. Now, this layer is the most important as it will affect the shapes and sizes of all the layers below. So to start, we need to pick the pen tool, click and drag using your mouse to create a window shape. Now, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate, as we can go ahead and adjust the shape using the selection tool here. Just using the selection tool to move and adjust these points and handles until you get a shape that you like so. So once you're happy with the way that your window looks, the next thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and right click on the path here, and you want to select fill path. Select color for the contents, and in the color picker here you want to select pure black like so. Click OK and OK again, and this will fill the outside area of the shape you created, leaving a window in the middle. From there, all we want to do is copy and paste the vector shapes that we've got from Envato Elements and paste them into our composition. And then we also want to color them in. So right click, go to blending options, color overlay, and let's select black like so. And then just move them into position like so until you get a nice composition for our first window. Now, once you're happy with the way that your window looks, go ahead and go into the layers panel. Select all of the layers here, right click, and let's go ahead and merge all the layers. So if I bring the layers panel here, you'll see if I right click, I can now select merge layers, and that will set all the layers as one single layer. And then we can go ahead and rename this Window 01. Cool. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and repeat the process for our second window. So for Window 02, make sure that it is set below our first window, and then just go ahead and duplicate the process that we did using the pen tool and create another window like so, just slightly smaller than our first window, going around the edges like so. And then again, right clicking on that and then choosing fill path, choose a color. Now for the color, this time for every window step, we're going to choose a slightly lighter shade than the previous window, and that will give us a better look as to how our final composition might look like, whilst also giving us a greater sense of depth to the piece, going from darker colors at the top window to lighter shades of gray, gradually going through lighter shades of gray with each new window that you create. Now let's create the paper texture pattern. So go to File, New, and create a new document, which is 200 pixels by 200 pixels. And then from here, we want to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, select Solid Color. And then for the name of this, let's go ahead and call this Paper Color. Click OK. And let's choose a color for this paper. We're going to use F5, F5, F5. Click OK for that. Create a new layer on top of this. And we're going to name this Texture. Use the Fill tool. And we're going to fill this texture with another color, which is going to be F8, F8, F8. Use the Fill tool to fill with that color. And then with the texture layer selected, we want to go to Layer, select Smart Objects, and then Convert to Smart Object. Once we've done that, go to Filter and select Filter Gallery. And in this new window that appears, under Texture, we want to go ahead and select Texturizer. Now we want to go ahead and change the texture to Sandstone, scaling at 100% with a relief of 4. Click OK to apply that. And now in the Layers panel here, we want to go ahead and double click on the filter blending options here. And let's go ahead and set the opacity of this to 50%. Now we want to select Filter and select Filter Gallery again. And this time we want to go ahead and go under Brush Strokes and select the spatter effect. Make sure that the spray radius is set to 10 and the smoothness is set to 5. Click OK. And now in the Layers panel again, double click on the blending options icon here and set the opacity here to 50%. Now go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise, and we want to make the amount of noise 2%, set the distribution to Gaussian, and make sure that monochromatic is checked. Click OK. And then again in the Layers panel, we want to double click on the blending options icon, and this time we want to lower the opacity to 30% and set the blending mode here to Linear Burn. Now that we've added all the effects to our texture layer, set the blending mode for our texture layer to Multiply. Select all the layers here now, and then right click, and we want to merge layers. So again, so you can see, select Merge Layers here, and that will merge all of our layers into a paper texture, like so. Excellent. Now, what we want to do is we want to select everything. So go to Select, select All, and this will select the entire texture image. Then from there, we want to go to Edit, and then select Define Pattern. And from here, we want to go ahead and name this pattern Paper Texture, and then click OK. Now we're ready to create our paper cutout effect action. Let's go back to our paper cutout example here. Now we're ready to create our paper cutout effect action. So let's go to the Actions panel here. Click on the Create New Action button, making sure that we've already got one layer selected here. Click on that, and let's name it Paper Effect Action. set at default actions, function key none, and a color of none. Click on record, and this will automatically start recording all of our actions, signified by the red circle button here. So let's go ahead and close the actions panel. We're going to right click on our layer, our selected layer, go to blending options, and we're going to start with bevel and emboss. So click on bevel and emboss, and you'll see straight away that it has started to change the look of our first layer. Our style is inner bevel. Our technique is smooth with a depth of 100%, direction up, size 1 pixel, soften 2 pixels, angle at 90 degrees, global light checked, altitude of 30 degrees. The gloss contour we want to use is a linear one, so choose the first linear gloss contour. We want to use a highlight mode, which is linear light, and we want to choose white for both of these colors, and also linear light for the shadow mode with an opacity of 40% for both. Next, we want to choose inner shadow. Now for inner shadow, we want to choose a blend mode of overlay, and again this will be choosing a color of white, an opacity of 45%, an angle of 90 degrees. Use global light checked, and we want to use a distance of 3 pixels, a choke of 0%, a size of 3 pixels, and also a contour which is linear. Next, we want to use inner glow. Now for inner glow settings, we want to make the blend mode linear light, an opacity of 10%, with a noise of 0%. Make sure the technique is softer, with the source set to edge, and a size of 114 pixels. Again, make sure the contour is linear and the range is at 50% and the jitter at 0%. Next, we want to choose pattern overlay. So select pattern overlay, and then from here, all we want to do is click on pattern, and we want to choose the pattern which we created, which is called the paper texture pattern, which should be the newest pattern on the bottom or the right. Once we've done that, set the blend mode to normal, an opacity of 75%, and then we want the angle at 0%, a scale of 100%. Next, we want to choose drop shadow. Now for drop shadow, we want to choose multiply. Make sure the color is set to black. The opacity is set to 70% and an angle of 90 degrees with global light checked. Distance is 4 pixels, spread is 0%, and the size is at 10 pixels. Contour again is set to linear with a noise of 3%. Awesome. Now to finish your Photoshop action, all we need to do from here is click OK, go back to the action panel here, and then click on the stop playing or stop recording button. Excellent. So now we have this paper effect action. If we want to apply this effect to the other layers here, we just have to simply click on one of the layers, make sure that our paper effect action has been selected, and then click play. And you can see straight away that the effect will be applied to each and every one of our layers, like so. Excellent. So once you've applied your paper effect texture to all of the layers, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to color the individual paper layers. So let's go ahead and do that now. So going back to our first window. Now to change the color of the layer, select it, right click on it, go to blending options, select color overlay, and And then from there, we want to go to the color box here and use the color picker to choose a color, like so. Now, because I want the top layer to be as bright as possible, I'm just going to go ahead and use linear light, or let's use soft light, just so that some of the paper texture grain will come through. Click OK. And then let's do the same with the other window. So go to Blending Options, select Color Overlay, and this time we're going to use the blend mode linear burn. And then from there, we're just going to choose some colors for each of our paper textures. So just going through each of the windows, Blending Options, Color Overlay, make sure the blend mode is set to linear burn, and then choose a color, like so. Go through each of the individual windows to color your illustration until it looks like this. So there you have it, how to create a paper cutout effect in Adobe Photoshop. Feel free to use this effect and action on your own designs and illustrations. If you liked this video and would like to see more, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of any new and inspiring videos. If you're looking to learn even more, check out some of the other tutorials on the channel. Have fun, and I'll see you next time on Tuts Plus.